It's been a long time.
Hello and welcome to Click to Unlock's ongoing walkthrough of Thief, the new Thief game. This is Chapter 5, The Forsaken. So this is the mission that takes us to the disused, abandoned mental asylum. To start off with, just there's no loot and stuff, and that you can head straight up, and here we get a nice look at the asylum and that statue, which is notably empty-handed. But if we take a little trip to the right, there's a couple of chess pieces and bits and pieces behind this bench here, and then keep going further round to the right up onto this ledge here. There's a hairbrush. If you do that, you hear some strange noise and something goes on, and then all of a sudden this sort of urn, is it an urn, has appeared in this statue's hand here. So that's a vessel. So that's a handy little one to know. If you just by going round to the right, that kind of appears. On the other side, you've got a hand mirror and also the first collectible of the mission, which is one of these city heritage plaques. This, just to sort of be clear, this walkthrough that I'm doing now, this is an all collectibles walkthrough of this level. I do get the vast majority of the loot, but due to some pretty poor mistakes, so I'll admit on my own part on that, even when editing this footage, I noticed at least 2 bits of loot that I missed anyway. This is a lot of, there's a lot of loot in this, but it's not a complete loot guide, but all the collectibles are here. So as I've just been nattering away, that front desk, check the front desk, make sure you get some loot in there. Then you can head up the stairs, and there's this desk here, and also a cupboard which has various bits and pieces in it as well, documents as well, and a pair of scissors. Don't want to be losing them. Right, so for kind of time constraints, I kind of found that the best way to do this was to head to the right upstairs and go to the men's section of the ward first. The women's section of the ward is kind of real mission critical, but the men's side, you kind of need to go there anyway to get a key, which I'm not sure you exactly need it, but anyway, if you go to, because if you want to get the loot anyway, you want to head right to the men's part, and then head down the small stairs at the side of the kind of escalator, and you want to head all the way down until you get to this door. Then you'll see this little office. So we have a desk in here, which has, I believe, a couple of items in here. I'm pretty sure. Come on, open them drawers. Look at this. This level is pretty soul destroying in that you open up a lot of drawers and there's not a lot of loot in them. But make sure you check on these shelves in this little office here. There's a syringe over here, and don't forget to go right the way down to the bottom of these stairs, because there's also a couple of other little items hidden away at the bottom, right at the bottom. Right, so once we've been down there and explored there, you can head back up to the top. And there's a set of drawers over here, and there's something here, a couple of little notes and stuff. Then into the office that's on the upper level now. So again, another desk which has, I think, like 1 item, so you end up like opening up the 5 drawers for 1 item. Or is there 2 in these? Oh no, that's a note. There's a note. And also as well in the corner is some scissors in the corner of the room as well. Don't forget to miss them. Right, so there's this valve. You can turn this valve, which opens up the gate over the side, and that allows you to head into the actual men's ward of the asylum. Right, so once you're in here, there's loads of rooms to go in. So for the purpose of time, I've edited out the rooms that don't have loot in them. So the first room on your right, I'll try and help you out in the voiceover if you're looking for them and you see something you're not sure where it is. So the first room on your right as you go in, if you're looking at the main office, that's the main office on the left. You pick the lock and there's this loot. The second room on the right, then there's a little cup in there. There's a note on the in the middle kind of corridor. So we're still heading down the right hand side. There was a picklock door there, but there's nothing in it. But go all the way to the end. On the bench there's a pen. Then you want to head back to the main office room that's at the front. There's a desk in here. I'm sorry if it's a little bit quick, but otherwise this edit's going to be like an hour long, and you know you're probably waiting to find out where there's one bit of loot, and you've been sitting there for 40 minutes. So I'm trying to be kind of brief, but everything's kind of methodical if you follow it. So I kind of go down the aisles and the lanes in a methodical manner. I'm not kind of skipping over left, right, and all over the place. So once you've checked the office, the syringe on the shelf there, you want to, and there's also some scissors on the top of the shelf there. You can also climb up into the vent here. There's another little bit of loot there, but you don't want to stop there either. You want to crawl out, and you can jump across onto the other side, and all the way along, and there's another brooch or something that's like sneakily hidden, pocket portrait that's sneakily hidden up along there. Right, so we kind of that's the right hand side covered, as if you're looking at the main office. Oh dear. And now we can move around to the other side, the other corridor sort of side, and you can get across. Now you can't open this door, but you can crawl in through this air vent. So once you crawl in through the air vent, you can then sneak into the room next to it. You can open the door from the inside, and then you can crawl into the room that was next to it through this little hole in the wall, and we have more loot and the key to the women's ward as well, which is kind of like a mission. Helps you to get on with the mission anyway, and that. Although you can get into the women's ward, as you will see, I will show you in a minute, without the key, if you so wish. So I guess it is possible to sort of speed run this mission, maybe, without even coming into the men's ward. You could just completely ignore it, I think. Let me know in the comments if I'm wrong, but that's how I kind of understand it, is you can go in another way, which you'll see shortly. Before leaving the men's section, there's this other door down here which you can lockpick, and there's a couple of holes in the wall, and the hole over here, you can, if you look through it, you see there's a painting on the wall there. Whip round, get your old paint thieving kit out, and that's your second collectible for the mission. I'm not sure if you, I think you have to look through the peephole in order for that to appear. I'm not 100% sure, but if you're having trouble getting it, go and look through the peephole and it will be there. That's for sure. Right, so once we've done all them, there's also one other room in the men's section right up the other end and in the corner. Make sure you check out in here. There's another document and a cupboard to unlock. Nice and nice. Here we go. And what we've got in here, another cup, vase, and an ink bottle. Nice. Right, so now we've got all that covered. We can head back towards the women's ward. And there's this nice little kind of walkway between the two that you can take. I'm pretty sure I've probably missed something in that men's ward though. There's, but I've been a bit quick with it. Right, so now we're in the women's ward, and we can head to the door that you're kind of like supposed to open with the key. So make sure you check don't get drawn into the room straight away. Make sure you check the drawers, and there's also a cupboard to the side with the bottle that comes out and scares you half to death because you think you've just alerted the nobody who's in the asylum. Right, so now we're into the office. Open up using the key. As I said, you don't need to do this, but if you want the loot and stuff and everything, so you know, you kind of have to do it if you want to get the loot. But if you were speed running it, you don't actually have to do this. So checking these drawers, we've got an ink pot and scissors, and don't forget the cup on the top. And then you can also open up the door, which is one of the routes into the women's ward. So that's kind of one of the main things you can do. But before you go down here in the lift shaft, you want to head to the lift shaft and use a rope arrow on this beam here, and you can jump onto the rope, slide down, and this takes you into a little secret area. There's some food there if you need it. But down here we got there's a couple of bits down here. There's a little document, but also sneakily up on these cupboards just behind you. So you've got this desk, and that cupboard there. It sort of at first glance it doesn't look like there's anything there, but if you climb up onto the desk and then round and up, you will find a rose brooch collectible. So is that 3 collectibles now? I think that's 3 collectibles now, and a pocket portrait. So a bit more loot. And to get out, you just climb up the stairs around the edge, and that brings you back up to the level you was at. Not the level you was at a minute ago. This is just one level down. It gets very confusing, this level, sometimes, about what level you're actually on. So once you're when you get back up to the level you was at, you want to head down the stairs at the side of the elevator. So you went down a rope on the stairs, but now actually head down the stairs, and this takes you down to a lower office section. Again, as with all the other office sections, there's a desk and various drawers to search through, and documents and the like. So here we go. So make sure you just check this desk to do it, and then here is where we're going to see the other entrance into the women's ward. There's a vent at the around the back of these bookcases here, which you can unscrew and get through. And before you go running off into the showers, make sure you turn around, because there's a little bit of loot just sitting there next to the vent. Very sneaky one, that is. Right, so we're into the shower rooms, and you can pass through the shower rooms and out into this corridor. When you're in this corridor, there's a little bit of loot at the end. Make sure you go and get that one. What are you looking at the bench for, James? Get down. Get the loot. Get the loot. There it is. Right. Okay. And if you go out to this door here as well, which it would take you out into the lobby, it's kind of like a trapped room, but you might have, if you was looking around, you might have seen this little teapot through the grill and thought, how do I get that? That is how you get that teapot. Right, so if you go back into that corridor, and then you've got these revolving doors here, this brings you into the dining room. So there's quite a few little bits of loot in here, along with a couple of documents, and some creepy going on, that's for sure, with the bouncing medicine ball and the trusty mannequins. But yeah, so we've got a couple of bits of loot on the floor. Usually it's all mainly cutlery and the like, what you'd expect to find in a place. But there's a little bit of loot behind the stage. Nice. Watch out for those mannequins. Scared the life out of me. Ooh, what are you doing? Right. Oh, definitely the most disturbing level of the game so far that I've played. Quite unsettling at places. Right, so make sure you go around picking up all these little bits and pieces, fork and stuff. And then this is, so through the dining hall you can then find your way through to the women's ward as well. So you could have gone through the door where you turned the shaft, or you could come through this way, which is kind of like the back end, as it were, into the women's ward. Right, so next phase, women's ward. Let's go looting in the women's ward. So we got a little document on the wall here. So first of all, we've got this room at the end, which is kind of illuminated by fire. It's nice and obvious. Another document and a pair of gold scissors. Don't forget the scissors. And as we go, so coming from that room that was lit, the fire, you take your first left, pick this room, and there is a little bit of, what is it? It's a note. Yep, it's a note in here. Heading along, the next room on the left, we've got a mirror. Then all the way down the corridor, this is all the way down on the left, there's another little bit of loot in this room. And now we're on the other side. Oh, creepy person down there. And this is in the door in the middle, which you have to pick, and then there's like a big explosion when you first pick it. But when you go back, it's you know, it's pretty safe, and there's a bit of loot in it, and also the ability to kind of crawl through and get up onto the rafters, as we was in the men's side. But you don't need to go up that route. There is another way up onto the rafters, as you'll see, but we don't want to go up there yet because that's kind of story, and we want to make sure we fish around and get as much loot as possible. That's Erin's old room on the right there. So another note. Right, so there's in the middle sort of corridor bit, there's a syringe on the bookshelf, and you can also climb up onto the bookshelf and crawl round into the office building. This office building door does open after you get into Erin's room as well, but I was kind of trying to make sure that I didn't trigger any story stuff and everything to try and make sure I could get around and get the loot. But you can come back into this room afterwards anyway. There's no like point of no return as in previous missions, not yet anyway. That it comes in a bit. So yep, a couple of little bits in this room. And then you can climb back out onto the ledges, and we'll head down to Erin's room, which is this kind of glowing room down here, and you can just fall and drop down into her room here. So there's a poppy in here, and also a little bit of loot on the floor, and the door should just open magically. Look at that. Who did it? I don't know. Right, see, there we are. That door to the office is now open, but we've already been in there. We've already looted that, and then this wheelchair decides to kind of like take on a life of its own. So once you've done that and you're happy with everything in there, again, I'm pretty sure I've probably missed something in there, but all the collectibles are got. Let's have a little update on what I've done. Right, so I've got 63 of 106 so far, and 3 of the collectibles. So if you've got more than that, that's how many collectibles you should have. But if you've got more loot than that, then you are definitely on track to get all the loot as well. So you need more than 63 when you head into this next part. Head round in this little bit here. There's a syringe before you actually start descending into the lower depths proper. When you jump down onto these steps, there's a magnifying glass just in front of you. Head all the way down the stairs, and again in the lift shaft. They love a lift shaft, these people. There's a little bit of loot right in the bottom of the lift shaft. Magnifying glass. Right, now we can head into the actual asylum proper. So there's kind of like this main office bit. Again, another desk to go through, a few items in here. But we basically got to switch on the power, which is going to let out all the crazy people in the cells who are highly dangerous. So head to the generator room, chuck a quick left and go up to this like little store area. There's a little bit of loot hidden up here. It's another syringe. And then head down across and whack on the switch and turn on the power. Turn on the power. Here we go. It's nice. Right, so access room 3F. So I go back to the control room, hit the button. This is going to open up all the doors of all the mad people, and this is where you head. You can get into this room here. There's a little bit of loot around here on the chair. Don't miss that one. That can be easily missed. But basically, you need to use these kind of vents between the cells. These are very handy from now on, because you do have to fight or incapacitate psychos that are walking around. These drawers on these little kind of devices, watch for them as well. What I just picked up there, they're easily missed. And also don't forget the syringe on the chair there. So that puts a little cutscene in, and then these guys are all wandering around now. You can be patient. Couple of techniques you can do. Obviously this is down to you yourself, but the oil on the floor there, you can sort of there's loads of throwables around, so you can make noise to lure them out into the kind of into the oiled area, and use your fire darts to burn them, or you can ghost it, you can sneak up on them, but once you've taken out a couple of them, you can move into this room here, which is the next one. So it's all like kind of one after the other room. There's a bit of loot on the side there. As I said, more throwables. Pick up them when you can because they are handy. Scissors. Don't forget them. Drawers. Nice syringe. And here's the vents. So the vents basically mean you can avoid walking in the actual main corridors. You can just stick to the vents, and it's very handy because they normally, the guys walking around don't normally detect you walking in through them ways, and it gives you you can use the flash bombs. It gives you there's a couple of drawers with flash bombs in them lying around, so that's a good technique as well. Flash bombs are probably the best arrow for attack in the game, but as you can see, you can just kind of go through, and that guy, look, he's just sort of standing there looking at him, and you know, I just got a preference sometimes for just the simple arrow, you know, just a simple arrow. There it is, look at that. Done. That'd teach you, wouldn't it? For whatever you've done. Or was he just a poor innocent soul? We'll never know. We will never know. Right, so basically what I like to do, if you're on a loot mission and you're not trying to ghost it, then I kind of like, you know, went through and made sure that I cleaned out all these guys before the proper exploring and searching around. A bit annoyed that wasn't a takedown. I thought I proper sneaked up on him there, but he was the last one, so it didn't matter. Right, now we're on a loot one. There's a microscope, and there's also a pair of scissors in this end room here. Right, so this room with the kind of guy in a lift. There's a magnifying glass on top of the sort of lift. There's also another magnifying glass in the pit. I made a bit of a boo-boo there because I got in the pit before pushing the button, which raises the lift and then means you can get down back where there was that bit of loot, and there's actually some vents which you can crawl underneath. So in the vents, you drop down here and you might panic that you've kind of like you can't get back up, but don't panic, it's fine. There's another way back up, so there's a little blast arrow down here, and then but in this one here there's some loot in this, so unscrew this one and you'll read a note that says about these guys who have found this treasure, and this must be their stash. So you just found their stash, which is nice. Right, so if you keep following the chutes out, you come out into like this little section here with this handle. Pull the handle, and you can see the elevator. Now, you might don't go back, don't go down into the depths just yet. We don't want to do that just yet. If you did happen to find yourself in the vent and got caught out, pick the lock, push the button down. The lift doesn't go down. But when you do push the down button, the up button becomes active, and that means you can head back up into the asylum and go and get any loot that you might have missed. So you might have thought that you'd missed your chance to get it all and everything, but you haven't. Because, most importantly, in this room there is a safe. Now, if you pick up this note, knocking in pipes, fix the knocking in those rotting pipes. I swear the accursed noise is making its way into my dreams. I've even caught myself tapping it with my fingers at work. So this is basically saying that the guy, the doctor, has been hearing these knocking noises a lot. So if we just listen to this. 1, 2, 3, 1. Right, so if you don't, so the knocking goes on a regular pace of 7 knocks, 3 knocks, 1 knock. So that is the combination. So the doctor who was stuck down here listening to the pipes was basically brainwashed by the knocking of the pipes and made his combination to his safe 7, 3, 1. Quite a nice little puzzle, that. Quite like that. Yeah, took a little while to work that out, but quite satisfying once doing so. And then once you get in this safe, you basically pick up your next collectible, the Ivory Circle. Nice. And don't forget the loot as well. Right, so once you're happy with all of the stuff you've got down there, you can basically get back into the lift or through the vents and head back down into the sort of lower catacombs, mental institution, cellars, whatever they are. On your way down, there's a magnifying glass in here. There's also another room in here which has got a box with some gold scissors. Yep, surgical scissors. And also on the floor there's a sneaky coin down here. Those ancient coins, they are right sneaky little things. Right, so we keep heading down. So at this point I've got 84 of 106 and 4 of 6. So if you're in better shape than that, then you're doing well. Before you head down into the main room though, there's this room in here where there's a focus point, and there is also a coin on the floor there. I cannot believe I don't pick that up. Look, there it was. Look, it sparkled. It sparkled. I don't know why I did not pick that up. And I know it's a coin because I had picked it up on my previous playthrough as well. So, a bit annoyed about that. But anyway, if you head through, we've got the desk here. There's a couple of bits in the desk. Look at that, nice syringe. Lovely. And some food. If you've not got the full inventory of food, definitely stock up because you might well need it for this next section. This next section can be a bit annoying. I just moved around onto this balcony here, and my technique for this bit here was if you can get where the rope is on this side, on on this ledge. If you get on this ledge, so climb over this barrier and get onto this ledge on the side, it basically means you're kind of untouchable. These creatures that are running around can't seem to get onto this ledge. So from here I use my blunt arrows, smashed some vases, lured a few of them into this middle room in order to burn them. You can get lucky there, but then with a blast arrow they all come up onto this top balcony, and as you can see here, if you blast him, I got lucky and it took out them as well. But also in my previous playthrough of that, 3 of them were in that balcony and I took out all 3 in one go. So that's a good technique. Right, so to get a collectible and also to help kill these other things, get your rope arrow up on this one here, and you can hop over to this kind of middle section, which allows you to get to this cage and pick up the mechanical eye collectible. But it also gives you a good vantage point to scope out more of these creatures that are wandering around. The fire arrow seems to be the most effective, other than the blast arrow, but if you don't want to waste them, the fire arrow seems to deal with them in two shots. That's kind of to the head. And then if you stick to that central level and the 2 side bits, you can kind of avoid getting killed. Otherwise, I think the technique, the level you're supposed to do is run around, turn the light switches on, and try and be swift and take them out and be stealthily. But I kind of just felt a lot safer by taking them out in my own time. Took a bit of patience, takes a bit of time, but once you're feeling a bit happy, you can head across to this kind of other ledge over here, and there's another bit of loot in this cage here. Right, so I've still got 2 more of these guys to go on this level, but they kind of seem to have bugged out a little bit. That kind of seems to happen it happened both times when I was smashing the vases, but they kind of stay underneath the grills here, and fortunately you can get your blast dart out and you can have him through the floor. So there's one more left, and he's basically on the opposite side, down the grill. And they don't seem to come alive unless you actually go down onto that lower level. So if you avoid that lower level, hopefully that's a good technique to help you out. Once you've taken out all of them guys, I think, how many was there? Was there 6 or 7 out? There was 8 of them. So once you've taken out 8 of them, you basically have free run of this whole room down the bottom. And definitely have a good scoping look around, because I know in going through the footage that I missed another item down here, but the collectible is in this vase down here. You have to break the vase, and the child's memory is it's in that vase. So that's down in one of the kind of dark side lower corridors right at the end of it. So look out for the vase at the end of that. And then basically just have a scope around. There's a few bits lingering around, and as I said, I know I've definitely missed one item down here, which was on one of the levels next to a column upstairs. I saw it when I was going through the footage, but let's have a quick look. So 92, 106, all 6 collectibles. So at this point I figured I've been playing this mission too long, and I hadn't shown you guys how to do it and where to get the collectibles, and I've got all the collectibles now. That was my main aim. Oh, there's another urn there. So I hope at the very least, if you're missing some bits of loot, I found them and they are the ones that you're looking for. And obviously all the collectibles are there. I hope you're enjoying the walkthrough so far. I've got 3 other levels all captured and ready to go. Just got to sort of do the voiceover and the like. But thanks for all your comments and all your interaction with it all. This is great. I hope to play a lot more of this in the near future. So subscribe. 94, poor. But all the collectibles, I'm definitely going to come back to this mission. But yep, thanks for watching, and click subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Click to Outlook. Cheers, bye.